Welcome everyone to Rare Maven the podcast. I'm your host Karima, and I am here with Miosha today. I'm with Rare Maven Media, and we are here to own what we create and celebrate Black women creative. So today we're going to get into it. Miosha McFadden is the founder of Brown Girl Bags, and she's celebrating our melanin, our Black womanhood, and our self-expression through style. She has pop ups with her bags that are all shades of our hues. Okay. You see, I got this on today. We represent, all right. And what she does is to promote our wellness through style, promote us being bold and beautiful. And that is why we have her here today because we want to talk about all things fashion, but doing it through inspiration. So let's welcome Miosha.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, I'm excited about this. I feel like we had some guests come on here before, and I love this intersection of fashion and being well and also celebrating who we are. So, with that, I want to ask you first, who inspired you as a creative entrepreneur? Like, who is that person?
Well, honestly, I don't have like a line of like family members that were like deep into entrepreneurship or anything. So like me starting off my brand, I kind of like jumped off the porch basically. Like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have like any inspiration or anything like that. I do on my dad's side, he was an architect. So he had a lot of fashion books and stuff growing up. My sister's
Mm-hmm.
into film. So like in that aspect, I had my foot in the door as far as that. But like
Mm-hmm.
overall, I was blindsided just jumping in.
Okay, well, okay, you got it. That's the thing. The fashion was there, so that's great that you had that as far as also in your family. All
Mhm.
right, now tell us like where are you from as well?
Okay, so originally I was born in Georgia, but I moved to South Carolina. I think I may have been like 4 or 5. A very
Mm-hmm,
small
hmm.
town, like it's Alcaloo. It's people that's familiar with South Carolina, they know like Columbia. So I probably was like an
Hmm.
hour from Columbia, but the town was
Okay.
so small. You literally like drive straight through it. It's no stoplights, no stores. It was just that. Like the population probably was like point zero. So
Well, you know what I have to say about that. Sometimes coming from like the smaller towns, you can create so much. Just
yeah.
being in that space where you're like, let's make something out of this. You can have play games, come up with things. And I notice a lot of folks who are creatives are going to the city like New York or Atlanta. They start in small towns because they have all this time, space, and quietness
Mhm.
to create and take it when they get to these major cities and blow it up. So
Yeah,
shout out
for
to small
sure.
town
Shout
living. All right. Now tell us, what is Brown Girl Bags?
So, Brown Girl Bags is basically just empowerment through luxury, putting us in luxury spaces because a lot of times we don't see our faces in those spaces. So, it's literally like we're here, we're confident, this is who we are. You don't even have to explain, what Brown Girl Bags is, just looking at it, okay, this is somebody that's confident enough to wear this brand and show who she is. So, we're in courtrooms. I have lawyers that have the bags, teachers, moms. So, it's just everyday empowerment of who we are, represented in every aspect. So when I first started, I was like, asking opinions of other people, as far as what color and what route I wanted to go in. I never settled with wanting like outside colors. I always knew I
Mhm,
wanted neutral tones, melanated shades,
mhm,
because like I said, my housing brand was just melanin. So I always knew
mhm,
I wanted that melanated tone in my bag. So that's
mhm,
why I just decided to have like different hues. Even like,
mhm,
white is just like a off white. So I have the
mhm,
light brown, I have a coffee color, I have the black, and I'm also in the works of actually getting smaller bags too. Because
mm,
the big bags, people are thinking like it's a work bag or it's a school bag, but I
mhm.
also want to have like an everyday bag for people to just jump on if they just want to throw their keys, lip gloss in it. So that's the next steps.
Okay, I love it. I love it. And I love that you were very intentional about like representing all hues. Like
Mhm.
that to me is like, because sometimes you see like someone would just have a staple piece and they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I love that like what you said, you wanted it to be representation through fashion. So I
Mhm.
think that that's like a big thing for me is intention. So I love that. That was the intention behind it too, to make sure like everyone is seen. I really like that. And what about your brand? Like, what was your eureka moment? Like that moment you said, I really got to make these bags. Like, it's time.
Well, when I first started with the brand in general, I started with t-shirts and I was doing like different pop-ups, and the brand was just Melanin. So it was like several moments I had where people were asking me what melanin meant. People were pronouncing it wrong. So I'm just like, I knew I wanted to represent the brown girls, represent the women of color, just the empowerment aspect and whole. So I was praying. I took some time to pray. I was like, I don't just want to do t-shirts. I was always a purse girly. Like my first cousins, they always had like a purse. They had purse lines, but it was just like, reselling purses. But I'm like, I love a good purse. Like I used to have different purses, and I know even in high school, people were probably like, "What is this purple black alligator shade bag Miosha is wearing?" Like it was just always bags for me. So after I prayed, I was like, I'm gonna start my brand doing something that I actually enjoy, which is wearing bags. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I was originally gonna just do just melanin bags, but like I said, it was just to the point I just didn't want to keep explaining my brand, like what melanin meant and why, where that came from. So I'm like, I'm just gonna be bold with it. This is a brown girl bag. This is for brown girls. So that's where it was just like, okay, now let's make it happen.
I love that. And y'all, she put a lot of keys in there that she didn't have to explain, but she explained. Okay. And the first one was getting still. And whether you pray or you meditate, she took time to really reflect on something that was like bothering her. Like, why aren't people really connecting, understanding what melanin meant? We know what it is, but I like that you just sat with it instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna still keep doing what I do, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like she cared about how she was representing her brands. And also, what I like is that you stuck with what comes natural to you, what you enjoy, which is your bags, what represents you. And a lot of times we don't realize our brands are extensions of who we are.
Right.
And I think it's like sometimes people always want to search outside themselves or be something that they think they have to be a brand, when really like this brand reflects
Mm-hmm.
something about you, your story. So I really like that you took it back to like, I like my bags, like, and you're going to do it because it'll like feed that creativity, it'll feed that energy, that joy, that basically motivates you constantly to want to do things new because you actually find joy in it. It's actually something that is a part of who you are. So I think y'all need to focus on that. Think about
Yeah,
that.
that's the key, because a lot of people that get into entrepreneurship and want to start businesses, they know they do it for the money. So it doesn't last. Like you'll see them posting for like maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then when business gets slow, they're stopping because that's not their passion. That's not what they're really wanting to do or invested in doing. So I feel like you have to have like a brand that represents who you are, and it has to be there for a purpose. If not, you're going to just give up on it when it gets slow because you're not invested 100% in it.
Yes, I agree. All right. I hope y'all writing that down. All right. You gotta be vested. Okay. Listen, we're not doing stuff for the money. We got creativity for days.
Mm-hmm.
So create. Like just be creative. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So my next question for you, like, what were some of the challenges you faced in having your brand?
Yeah, for me, I funneled my business by myself, funding everything. I'm a one man show. So like starting off, just getting the funding, like I use a lot of my savings. And so in the beginning, with most businesses, it's slow until you start getting recognized. So I put so much money into it. And then in the beginning, it was like, okay, this is great. I'm getting a lot of sales. But then I went through a slow phase. And so, of course, that kind of like made me feel like, okay, I'm going to slow down with promoting because I wasn't encouraged anymore. But I had to like continue to push myself and remind myself, this is your brand. Like you have to be 100% in it for people to take it serious. So that was like a moment for me that kind of slowed down. And then around that time when I did pick back up and motivate myself, I had an ambassador that posted my bags, and I knew her from like back home, but she had like tons of followers, and I had like 100 orders that day, and I was just like, this is what being consistent and resilient looks like. So that was kind of like, it was a downfall, but then it also was something good that came out of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. She dropped another key on y'all. I'm just letting y'all know. She was like, you have to be consistent. That's the thing that people want. Like, we always talk about instant gratification. But at the end of the day, it's a process and you have to go through it to learn what works for you. And like you just said, that was a relationship you had, someone you knew, and that's how you got through. But you wouldn't have known that if you didn't just try and keep going and kind of see what connected, it's like you would have still been in the dark. So it's like there's no other option but to go through. So that was dope. And then that one moment, you never know. And that's the beauty of it. You just never know how it's going to pop off. But when it does, you can still take that as a model and then replicate it and build and scale. But you gotta, like you said, you gotta keep showing up. You gotta be
You just
consistent.
never know what might come out of, just
Mm-hmm.
being faithful.
Yes. Yes, and that part too. All right. So my next question is, what are some of your tips? So I have three types of tips. One in as an entrepreneur, one in your artistry, like staying creative, and then one on wellness.
Ooh, okay. So I feel like in entrepreneurship, like especially being that I have a brand, I do have a lot of people that want to start businesses off, and I'm always giving them like little small gems because some people will say like, I want to start this brand, but there are other brands that does this and I'm always telling them like, when you go to Walmart and you go on the toothpaste aisle, it's several different toothpaste. You go on the bread aisle, so many different types of bread. So it's like you have to start a brand that sets you aside from other people's brand. Your brand doesn't have to look like others. You lean into what makes you different. What makes you different from other brands as well. So it's never about, okay, I don't want to start a lip gloss brand because there are a lot of different lip gloss brands. What makes your lip gloss brand popping? Like, is it gonna make my lips enhance? Is it gonna change the color? Like, what about it? Makes your brand different. So that's always a gem I have business wise, and that can always go into wellness as well. So I have a wellness community, and a lot of times we talked about how we want our journey to look a certain way, and when it doesn't, that's when like depression hits and anxiety, because we're like, oh my god, it has to look this certain type of way. But the biggest thing is just staying true to who you are. If you know that, and not just that, but just don't have that many expectations. Like, your journey is going to look different from others. So just because you see someone moving faster along doesn't mean you're now on the right path. It's just not your time yet. So just lean into what makes you different from the next person as well in your journey. So maybe your depression might be slower for you to get through, but you know that you will get through it. So just that piece of advice for wellness is all about being different as well. Like I said, I was the girl that was wearing heels to the cafeteria. People were just like, why does she have heels on in high school? And I had like I said, it was a snake prints. It was just, what makes you different? It's okay to be different. And so back then I didn't want to lean into being different because it's a whole bunch of people watching. But now, like, being different is what makes people actually like you and respect you, because it takes courage to be different, just like it takes courage to wear a brown girl bag. And, it's just all about who you are. It's Don't be afraid to be who you are in general.
I like that. I feel like they all connected how you did it. Like if y'all was hearing, like she just said, like Miosha was like, be who you are. I feel like that was the thread in all of her tips. Because if you are who you are, you don't have to worry about the next person and what they're doing. So you can stay away from that comparison.
We get in our own way as far as everything. With businesses, you want to start a business, but you're too busy looking at who has a business, and yours might
Mm-hmm.
have tough. Like, you're in your own way with that. You're in your own way with
Mm-hmm.
feeling. You're in your own way with being different, being okay with being different.
Yes, exactly. And I love that you said that because I even noticed I'm on TikTok now. I'm like trying to build on there, but I'm noticing, you can listen to all these different tips, some people are saying, but I'm noticing the ones that stand out, even if I post something, it's when I'm just doing whatever I want to do. It's not when I'm basing it off of what tip somebody said. It's showing up like you said before, and it's just being me. And that is what stands out. And most of the people you find who do quote unquote blow up, they're literally just being themselves.
Yeah.
They're showing up as themselves. And that energy resonates. People don't realize it, but people know what's real and they know
Mhm.
what is being like constructed. It's a feeling that you have, and being authentic, like literally. And I know it's like very cliche, like some people, oh, be yourself, but it's
Yeah.
literally be yourself. But I know since some people don't realize that, they don't take the time to know themselves. So
Mhm.
I see why people can't be themselves because they don't really know themselves. So what we're saying now is just be who you are, get to know yourself. The amount of
Yeah.
time you spend scrolling, same amount of time you need to spend just
Mhm.
writing or getting your ideas out about what is coming to you because of who you are.
Yeah. I often hear too that, society wants you to be yourself until you're yourself. And then that's when they're judgmental. But
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
people will always have something to say, whether or not you yourself, whether or not you pretending to be somebody else. It's just gonna always be some negative Nancy out there,
Yep,
but you can't
yep.
let that dictate you.
That is a great point, and that is like the fear. It's almost like the fear of success. Like,
Hmm.
right, you're fearful of like being successful, surviving because ahead of other, and it's like that has nothing to do with you. And if it's like, and if that's what stopped you from being successful, it's like you
You will
don't
never
want
be
it. You
successful.
could never be it, and you don't truly want it. And it's not like you're not doing this for other people at all. It's about living out your true self, like living freely at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I love, love, love to see. We getting into it. I didn't even know we was gonna go to these levels. I'm like just a little tips, but these are so important, like to know yourself.
Mhm.
So okay, I do want to get more into the nitty gritty as it takes to like make a bag. So with people wanting a fashion line, those who are tuning in right now might have a sketch, right? They might not have a sketch, but they might want to get their bag made. They want to find out how to sell it. Like, what would be like some of your tips or run us through your process in getting your products, fashion lines made and created?
Mhm. Well, I have a friend. He has his own brand, so he kind of had me connected to his manufacturer. So I kind of already had the door
Mhm.
open with that.
Mhm.
But I did know I just wanted a basic design. So I just sketched out the brown girl bag on a regular like square. Like I just know this is what I wanted to start off with. And then I know eventually I'm going to gravitate towards BGB bags. So I have all of that trademark, but I did know I wanted to start off as basic as possible. But it's just a matter of doing research on manufacturers, getting samples to see which manufacturer best supports what your vision is.
Okay, and the samples now, is that samples of the actual bag itself, or is that just the fabric?
No, it'll be the sample of the actual bag.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. And what would you say would be great to start out as an investment with getting those samples before you go into production?
It depends. Different manufacturers require different things.
Mhm.
So um, I know I just when he sent me the different manufacturers he had, I just sent them my ideas, and then they will send me back like a sketch or just an idea of what they could do for me. And then of course
Mhm.
you have to pay for the sample.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
comfortable, you have to jump to another manufacturer to see which one has the best quality.
Okay, awesome. And now with that, speak to us about what it takes to protect that design. So say if you make that and a manufacturer come and send you like a sketch or more specifications, how do you protect it where say, next year Rock Girl Bags is a multi-million company. How do you protect that from where the manufacturers don't have any ownership? Like, are you going to a certain attorney? Like, do you already set up your legal contracts ahead or after production? Like, how does that go?
Well, I have everything that I touch trademarked because even with some of the manufacturers, with the sample photos they'll send you like other designs that they already have. And
Mhm.
I'm like, mine is trademark. So mine can't be on your website for promotional purposes.
I love that. That's what I
Hmm.
was getting to. Y'all, ownership, protection.
Hmm.
That is, it's not, it's one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to make sure that it's not taken. And this is a real thing that happens, especially with small business owners, content creators. People are watching.
For
People
sure.
don't have ideas. People are not creative. Like, so that's what we were talking about. Be who you are, because some people literally don't know who they are, don't want to be creative, but they will take a creative idea and they will make a bag. They will
Mhm.
make a bag, literally, pun intended, off of your stuff. So I love that you said trademark, like protect it at all costs, because it doesn't matter what level you're at, where you're at in your business, like protection is protection. Thank you for that. I love it. I love it. So, and any other tips that you may have for those who want to start a fashion brand?
I feel like just start. You won't know how far you can go if you just keep it as a thought, as an idea. So, just putting yourself out there and giving yourself permission to fail if it does happen, but also, dust yourself off and figure out where did you go wrong and build from there.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Okay. All right. My next question, I have a few more. Now you speak about um like mental health, right? And your background. I just want you to speak to us about what your story and why this subject matter and wellness was so important to you to infuse into your fashion brand.
Mhm. Like I said, I grew up in a very small town, and people from that small town know that I was bullied terribly. And so I never felt like I had the opportunity to just stand out and be who I am. Like, granted, I did like do things to stand out. Like I was still wearing my heels, but I used to get tripped up in the hallways. Like I never could be authentically who I was, because back then it was just like frowned upon if you're from like a school that's like this big, a high school. It's just like, so I felt like my voice was taken away. I couldn't be who I wanted to be. So I felt like it was stripped away from me. So whenever I went to college, I decided it was my opportunity to start over. And, nobody really knew me, even though I went to a college in the same state. Nobody really knew me. Like I could start over and be whoever I wanted to be. So that's when I actually started the Just Melanin brand. And for just the people that want to have a voice and let people know from my small town, like you can grow outside of just a small town. Because even when I went to college, I had people saying I wasn't going to take it serious, just things like that. I had so many people that doubted my journey. And so my goal was to prove everybody wrong. And that's why I created a brand for myself as well. Like I'm going to be exactly who I want to be, who I couldn't be. And I'm going to be that voice for people that might feel the same way and love
Wow.
more.
Yes, and that she clocked it. Luxury. Miosha, you giving so much stuff and like such an eloquent,
Mhm.
graceful way, but you're giving so much just beautiful gems, like in just showing how you didn't let anyone essentially dim your light. Like you kept just pushing and saying, no, I am deserving, I am worthy, I deserve a life that's larger than I can even imagine, and I'm gonna show up. And a lot of times when you move like that, those who don't have that in them, who are doubtful, who are basically subconscious, they don't have confidence, they want to try to bring you down to where they are. And so I just like commend you for, you didn't even have to do this type of brand. You could have just said, I'm moving out.
Right.
I'm gonna get my job, live my life, but you wanted to tailor that into inspiring other people to do the same, and that is like beautiful. And I can like attest to that, like just feeling like you gotta be in the shadows, and then finally when you move out, okay, I'm just gonna be who I am. But it always is just like for so many I would talk to definitely younger people too, just wanting to show who they are, be authentic. And I came from like a smallish town too, and I understand like people want to just go with the mold so that they don't uh ruffle no feathers. But that took a lot of courage to say,
For
I
sure.
don't care, and what people don't realize is the ones who are like courageous, the risk takers, those are the ones who are successful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like the theme of my life literally has been prove them wrong, and that
Yes.
was with family and just
Mm-hmm.
people in general. Like
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing, even when because I have two kids now, and I feel like a lot of people feel like that's gonna slow me down. Like that encourages me to like want better for them as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
That's
redefining, and that's the thing. Redefine what you are. And Miosha, I'm telling you right now, she is very peaceful. Okay. And that's how you gotta be. You gotta just say, I'm gonna be who I am. Like whatever you believe, your beliefs are not my beliefs. You're
Mhm.
not gonna tailor that because you feel one way and that's gonna bring you down. It doesn't bring me down, and that's an act of also we talk about faith on what she was speaking on too. You believe bigger than you can see. And
Mhm.
that is something very powerful to carry with you. I hope like y'all take that, because it is, especially in the time we're living now, everyone's cramming. Everyone's like, should I do this? Should I make the leap? Make the leap. Thank you. That was so beautiful. And I just commend you for that. And I do it's so funny you talk about college. I do remember so many people I knew from college because I lived in two different towns and I went to the college, like the largest college in the state. So some people didn't know each other from high school, but I knew people from different schools.
Yeah.
So when I came to college, I was like, this person is totally 180
Right.
different, and because they didn't know each other, and I saw it playing out, and I was just like crack up all the time. I'm like, listen, do what y'all gotta do. Like, but that is a season, even for me, that was a season, a time of reinvention.
Mhm.
And I know people don't always want to go to college, but I'm a big advocate of college because I'm like, it's not just about school. It's literally about becoming who you are, having the freedom to be who you are, having the freedom to use their money, to join clubs, activities, travel, like just to really find more out about yourself. So
Mhm.
that's really beautiful that you took it to entrepreneurship in college.
Mhm. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I have like a few more questions. My second to last question is what would you recommend as far as any books, movies, things like quotes, activities to keep creatives going?
I feel like everything that's about who I am, it kind of sparks creativity. But I also feel like for people that know they want to do something different, is maybe try to find a mentor, try to find a video of someone that's doing something similar to what you want to do, because that'll motivate you within itself if you seeing that there's somebody else out there that can. You like, well, why can't I do this? So just staying encouraged, doing those, like watching videos, listening to podcasts, whatever it is that you want to do, finding someone that is already doing it,
Mm-hmm.
in a similar
Mm-hmm.
way that can also push you.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. I gotta go back through this, y'all. Once we do the edit, she got so much keys up in here. I might have to just like list them out. I'm gonna have to get Chat GPT. I'm like, listen, this is a script.
Mhm.
That's what I got. Because that right there was amazing too. Like, I wasn't even thinking that was gonna happen. But she said, get you a mentor or a
Mhm.
representation at the end of the day, something that represents or someone or it could be a book they wrote about their life that
Right.
you're inquisitive to see their journey. So
Mhm.
learning the journey, learning the story, so that it could play out in keys. It's not like no one's story going to be the same,
Right.
but at least it's a helpful guideline
Mhm.
onto like what you can do or what tools you need to stay motivated and get it done. So I
Mhm.
love it. All right, this is the real second to last question.
Okay.
I have what I call a rise, shine, and thrive song. So this is a song where whatever I'm going through, if I'm groggy or anything, I hear this song, I'm gonna get at it. I'm gonna get things done. I'm not gonna hold back. So my Rise, Shine, and Thrive song is Diva by Beyonce.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to know what your Rise, Shine, and Thrive song is.
I have a lot of different moods and different versions of who I am. So sometimes I can get ratchet, and I like Boss Man D-Lo. He has Mo Chicken. I like that song. I
Okay.
don't know it, but I like that. That when it came out, I'm like, okay, I like this. I like songs that talk about like how people came from nothing, turn themselves into something.
Mhm, mhm,
I like
mhm.
songs where women are like, just being confident as far as
Yes.
who they are with their businesses, being a boss. I like those types.
Yeah.
It kind of motivates me. Like, okay,
Mhm,
just
mhm,
keep
mhm.
going.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I'm the same way. The only time you'll hear me listening to rap is if it's a song like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I love it. Well, all right, Miosha, we are ending. I want to thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, giving us just all your great insight, your journey, your story with Brown Girl Bags and Just Melanin. And I just want you to let the listeners know how they could keep in contact with you, get their bags, and what to look forward to moving forward.
Okay, so on social media, my name is the same everywhere. It's just Melanin Luxury Brand. I do have a couple pop ups in September. If you're like in the Atlanta area, I'm doing the Aosis pop up at the Gathering Spot. I'm doing the CityCon, the Saved in the City, on the 12th and 13th, and I'm also doing the Black on the Block. So if you follow us on social media, I still post, what days I'll be at the pop ups. So if you want a bag in person, I love the in person vibes, the in person energy. Come out to one of those events. So if not, you can always shop online. The website is www.justmelanin.shop.
Also, oh, I'm gonna be at that probably Black on the Block. So I do want
Okay.
that. So I'm gonna come check you out. All right, because I'm in Atlanta. So yes, yes, honey.
Okay.
I'll post that for y'all. Y'all get to see her stuff. I'll do a nice little reel for you.
Okay.
A Raven. But thank you so much, Miosha. This was amazing. And thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of the podcast. I hope you got a lot of wealth of information and just insight and had a good time listening to Miosha's story. Um, Follow us at Rare Maven Media on Instagram and on www.raremaven.media online. And please, please own what you create. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.